an industrial-sized welcome to you all. This is Trades Talk. I'm your host, Pop. And in case you're unfamiliar with this stream, we look at things from an industrial point of view. I'll discuss the skilled trades, what to expect, how to get into them, all that kind of good stuff. I'll also have pictures and videos and all that stuff showing projects I've been a part of over the years. Feel free to ask me anything about the skilled trades. I'll try to tell you as best I can. And if we don't know, we can find out together. What I usually do is go over the news. You can tell a lot by what's going on in the economy, by how the industrial news. You'll see whether people are going on strike or whether they're going to get laid off. What's happening with facilities, whether there's more being built or if there's more being shut down. And that'll tell you the state of the economy, which is important to know because everybody needs a job. Before I get to it, though, I want to say hello to you, David Glenn, faithful watcher of the stream, and also Wrench. Oh, and look who showed up now, DJ Ronnie G. What's up, DJ? Just getting home from work? Getting ready to start your weekend? All right, so I'm out there broadcasting on all the platforms. We got Rumble. Hello to all you guys on Rumble. Or Kick. Hello to you guys on Kick. I'm on Twitch as well. Greetings to anybody watching on Kick or on Twitch. And of course, YouTube. And a big hello to all you guys. So let's get to that news of the week. Let's see what's going on here. Courtesy of Plant Magazine. You took the day off to pack your bags for a trip. Oh, nice, DJ. Where are you going on your trip? Just have a little sip of tea. Let me see. Federal government invests $38 million in Quebec supply chain projects to address cost of living concerns. I wonder if you could FedEx yourself to San Antonio. Big enough crate, just make sure there's air holes. Let's see what we got going on here. This is the federal government giving more of the taxpayers' money to the province of Quebec. So they always get special treatment above everybody else. I'm sure there's states in the union that get special treatment from the federal government. You're going to San Antonio. Nice. You going to meet up with everybody's favorite penguin? Punkwall going to be there? You get a better rate if you use USPS to pack food and water. There you go. FedEx is not federal. This is so true. Just like the Federal Reserve is not federal. It's the name, but it has nothing to do. It is not part of the government. It just controls the government. Fun fact. Anyway, 7 projects in Quebec will receive funding under the National Trade Corridors Fund. The Government of Canada has announced it is investing in strategic infrastructure projects to strengthen supply chains and make life cost less. So, yeah, make life cost less. So they're all of a sudden they're investing in all this stuff because, I know you guys have a federal election in next month. I think ours is going to be next year. So now the government is going to start spending and buying votes from people. So this is what they do. Don't fall for it, everybody. Pack lard to fatten you up on arrival. On October the 18th, the president of the Treasury Board and Minister of Transport, Anita Anand, announced up to $38 million for 7 projects under the National Trade Corridors Fund. These investments aim to reduce capacity constraints and bottlenecks, making it easier for goods to move quickly. By enhancing infrastructure and improving efficiency, these investments will also help support economic growth in the province of Quebec and in regions along the St. Lawrence River. The projects include the Montreal Port Authority will increase export capacity for Canadian containerized grains. QSL International Limited will develop an industrial port zone in the cities of Sorel-Tracy and Saint-Joseph-de-Sorel, thereby increasing trade volumes. The Quebec Port Authority is undertaking several key projects, including expanding the terminal storage space at Pier 103, relocating essential infrastructure for the electrical supply of the L'Anse-aux-Foulons sector, Pier 104 and 105, and enhancing the capacity and efficiency of the estuary rail yard. Finalizing an agreement for the development of new dry bulk and cargo terminal behind Pier 108 in the Anse-aux-Foulons sector. The Saguenay Port Authority will establish a new storage area in the southwest corner of the terminal. Sounds like they're just making space for stuff. That's all it sounds like to me. By enhancing connectivity and reducing bottlenecks in Quebec and the areas along the St. Lawrence River, consumers, workers, and small businesses will benefit from efficient and reliable supply chains, said Minister Anand. This in turn supports economic growth and helps make life cost less for Canadians and Quebecers. You know what else makes life cost less for Canadians and Quebecers? Less taxes. You stupid morons in government. Stop taxing us so much. Anyway, how do you get some of that money living in little Canada like you do? Just apply for it. I'm sure they'll get it for you. Neo Battery signs LOI for joint venture with Lotus Energy Recycling. Manufacturing begins in Quebec for Bombardier's Global 8000, the world's fastest business jet. Okay, I said last week, these guys should be just taking advantage of Boeing and all the confusion and rotten things happening to them. Bombardier, Airbus, get on it right now. Don't hesitate. You know, you've got Boeing on the ropes. Step on their neck some more. Otherwise, they'll just beat you out again. Bombardier has announced that manufacturing of key structural components for the first Global 8000 production jet has begun at its facilities in Saint Laurent, Quebec, Red Oak, Texas, and Querétaro, Mexico. I think that's how you pronounce that. The Global 8000 is reportedly set to enter service in the second half of 2025, positioning itself as the world's fastest and longest-range purpose-built business jet. The manufacturing process for what will be the industry's fastest business jet, the impressive ultra-long-range Global 8000, has begun, said David Murray, Executive Vice President, Manufacturing, IT, and Bombardier Operational Executive Team. Our engineering and production teams continue to demonstrate unmatched levels of expertise, pride, and innovation, qualities that are an intrinsic part of Bombardier's DNA. Our people's mastery is behind the progress we are making at our production sites and underscores Bombardier's culture of excellence, as well as our commitment to elevating the world of aviation. Just a lot of jargon and word salad there. The aircraft will feature a range of 8,000 nautical miles and a top speed of Mach 0.94, as well as 4 true living spaces and a separate crew rest area, and will be capable of flying up to 8,000 nautical miles nonstop. You said that already before that. I don't know how fast Mach 0.94 is. Let's see here. How fast is Mach 0.94? Mach to miles per hour, okay. So Mach 0.94 is 715 miles per hour. I mean, that's pretty good. Yeah. So 700 miles an hour. That's good. That's faster than your commercial jets fly. I think they only fly at about 530 miles an hour. And that's just so they can conserve fuel, I think. And 8,000 miles. I mean, that's a good distance. The company says cabin advancements will also include entertainment control and connectivity, the nice touch CMS and OLED touch dial, and Bombardier's L'Opera directional audio sound system to ensure passengers receive an unrivaled cabin experience. All right, well, we'll see how many of these get snapped up for a business jet. Here's one. U.S. vote has Canadian business leaders worried about protectionist policies. There's always been protectionist policies. Shouldn't be anything new. A new report says many Canadian business leaders are worried about economic uncertainties related to the looming U.S. election. The survey by KPMG in Canada has of 735 small and medium-sized businesses says 87% fear the Canadian economy could become collateral damage from American protectionist policies that lead to less favorable trade deals and increased tariffs. Like I said, this has happened before. This shouldn't be like, oh man, this never happened. It's happened before. People just have to read up there on their history to see that things like this have happened before. And we've weathered the storm. We've, as our closest trading partner, the U.S., we do billions of dollars of trade a day, and we're gonna make it so it's try to be mutually beneficial to each other. It says that due to those concerns, 85% of business leaders in Canada polled are reviewing their business strategies to prepare for a change in leadership. The concerns are primarily being felt by larger Canadian companies in sectors that are highly integrated with the U.S. economy, such as manufacturing, automotive, transportation, and warehousing, energy and natural resources, as well as technology, media, and telecommunications. Both presidential candidates have campaigned on protectionist policies that could cause uncertainty for Canadian trade, and whoever takes the White House will be in charge during the review of the United States-Mexico-Canada Agreement in 2026. Yes, big deal. Like, you're not gonna hurt each other's economy. We're gonna try to work together. I'm pretty sure that's how they're gonna do it. Yeah, not much news today. Not much news. That's okay. That's the end of the news. Let's get on to some of the articles I found on the this is from the Longview News Journal. State faces shortage of skilled trades workers. What state, you may ask? Why, Louisiana. The Bayou State ranks 30th in the nation for unemployment, facing a significant shortage of workers in skilled trades. Positions in welding, electrical work, healthcare, and industrial construction are critically understaffed, according to the Louisiana Workforce Commission. A report released Tuesday highlights growth in other sectors. Private education and health services added more than 10,000 jobs over the past year, while the construction industry gained 4,600 jobs. Despite the current labor shortage, Louisiana Workforce Commission Secretary Susanna Schoen said demand for skilled trade jobs is expected to increase, driven by federal spending and organic growth in the state. We have a lower labor force participation rate among people aged 16 to 24 than many other states, Schoen said. It's important to raise awareness about the opportunities skilled trades offer, especially for young people entering the workforce. The unemployment data for the Arc-La-Tex region indicates in Louisiana, 81,491 people are unemployed. Arkansas reports 45,797 individuals without jobs, while Texas has 630,135 residents unemployed. Oh boy, Texas. Always doing things bigger and better. Among Louisiana's metropolitan statistical area in September, seasonally adjusted data shows Alexandria, 62,100 jobs, added 200 jobs from August and gained 500 jobs from September. Baton Rouge, 418,000 jobs lost, 2,900 jobs from August, and lost 1,000 jobs from September. Hammond, 49,600 jobs lost, 100 jobs from August, but gained 200 jobs from September. Anyways, it goes through all these cities, and yeah, it's not as many jobs are available, it looks like. You once read a sci-fi short story about the future where the world population was 10 billion and only 1 million people knew how to design and or fix anything. Oh, that was sci-fi then, David. Maybe it's getting to be science fact now. Let's hope not. Otherwise, I think idiocracy will come to fruition here. All right. So yeah, that's the news out of Baton Rouge, Louisiana. This is an article from Higher Ed Dive. Skilled trades gain traction with Gen Z, report finds. About 9 in 10 Gen Z graduates said learning a skilled trade can be a better route to economic security than college. Home services app Thumbtack found. And just looking at this picture, yeah, the woman with the long hair in braids, that's a no-go for the job site. Yeah, you either got to tuck your hair under your hat or tuck it down your shirt, because that is a hazard right there. And it looks like it goes down her back quite a bit. So you try to come to the job site with that, they're going to tell you the same thing. You got to tie your hair up, put it under your hat, or put it down your shirt. Otherwise, they'll just tell you to go home. Anyways, here's a dive brief. Social media is increasingly driving an interest in skilled trades careers among members of Generation Z, generally defined as people born from 1997 to 2012, according to a report from home services app Thumbtack. She's gonna get that hot in an auger. Yeah, that's no lie. Anywhere you're working in a place with sparks and stuff, get sparks in your hair starts on fire. Yeah, or a power takeoff, you betcha. What else we got here? Social media is the second largest driver of Gen Z career paths, with 55% of Gen Z respondents now saying they are considering a career in the skilled trades, up from 12% from last year. Thumbtack says in its Future of the Skilled Trades report, 2 out of 3 Gen Zers social media has made them more interested in the trades, according to Thumbtack, which surveyed 1,000 Gen Z respondents in July. The Thumbtack report also found that 93% of Gen Z graduates and 80% of the parents surveyed said learning a skilled trade can be a better route to economic security than college. Yes. Yes, it can. The Thumbtack report comes amid labor shortages in the skilled trades, a problem made worse by early retirements during the COVID pandemic. Young people could help to fill those roles. As long as they're willing to work, and willing to work hard, that's all I ask for. If I'm going to get an apprentice, you have to be willing to work hard and be open to learn. The report's findings could be good news for both Gen Z and our communities. Their interest in the trades will help fill much-needed gaps as plumbers, electricians, and contractors retire, building much-needed infrastructure and housing supply, Marco Zappacosta, co-founder and CEO of Thumbtack, said in a statement. Employers in Austin, Texas are among those who have struggled to keep up with the demand for skilled trade jobs. According to Luis Castillo, a manager in the skilled trades programs in Austin Community College's continuing education department, for the past decade, the city has been one of the country's fastest growing metropolitan areas. The city's growth has led to more job openings than job seekers for HVAC positions, Castillo said. I've said HVAC before, guys. That's an important one. B-17, cue the royal trumpets for your arrival. Cue the fanfare. B-17 is here. Castillo added that companies bring in workers from other Texas cities like Dallas, Houston, and San Antonio to fill skilled trade jobs in Austin. According to data provided by Castillo, about 92% of students who attend ACC's continuing education HVAC program find jobs. Of those who find jobs, about 47% are hired by HVAC service providers and 45% by property management companies. I told you, HVAC. Heating, ventilation, and air conditioning. People want to be warm in the winter. They want to be cool in the summer. You have lots of work to do. You're using that every time you hop onto a stream. Cue the fanfare. Castillo said that in his experience, recent high school graduates have not played much of a role in filling the need for HVAC workers. HVAC jobs are not easy, he noted. Instead, young people tend to learn to appreciate skilled trade careers after they have held other jobs at places like Taco Bell and McDonald's. They need to have a reference to say, yes, HVAC work is a good job because now I will have medical benefits, vacations, 401k, and a better salary. I mean, they should be telling them that when they're in junior high. I mean, yeah, you can go work at McDonald's. Nothing wrong with this food service industry. But shouldn't be considered a forever job. It's a stepping stone. You go do the job, you get experience, you get money. And as you get older, you're like, okay, now it's time for me to move on. Godzillionaire, so I see you now. Your chats aren't showing up. What's going on, Godzillionaire? Have you been talking and it's been like we've been ignoring you? I haven't seen anything from you except this one you sent right now. Welcome, by the way. I think David had that trouble a while back too with his chats not showing up. But yeah, that was the article on Gen Z. You're like 5'6". Can you fit in a crawl space for HVAC jobs? Most of the time, you're not crawling around in crawl spaces. I mean, sure, you might, once in a while, but most of the time, you've been commenting for a bit now. What the hell? YouTube's after you. You guys could try, some of the other ones I'm on. I'm on Twitch, I'm on Rumble and Kick, if you guys want to try some of those. I'm just saying, if YT is being, difficult, they can always circumvent that. And I don't know why are they after everybody's favorite kaiju? Come on. Did you stomp over their headquarters or something? I'm asking you, please stomp on their headquarters. Okay, well. My channel is under attack. It's only a matter till it's my turn, right? It's funny until it's my turn. Okay, yeah, well, I didn't see much in the way of more articles, so why don't we just cut to picture time? Yeah, how about that? It's picture time, it's picture time. I have videos too, by the way. But I will show you the pictures first. No, not that. There we go. Come on. Just telling myself to smarten up, get better. All right. Why aren't you capturing the display now? Not connected. Come on. There we go. Okay, you guys see this? Sinkhole. We got a sinkhole. So there's the water drainage, and it used to go to a pipe that went under to a ditch. However, whenever that pipe was put in, probably 40 or 50 years ago, it's now deteriorated. It is deteriorated so badly that the ground got washed out around it, and somebody actually stuck their foot in there. Like they were stepping and they slipped in there. It's not that deep. It's only about a foot deep. But yeah. He thought it was exposed gas line. No, nothing that crazy. Just a bit of a sinkhole. It will be taken care of, but for now, I got some different shots of it. Why are most drainage inlets always a half-inch taller than the surrounding substrate? It's probably because of the ground settling. This probably used to be down further, but the ground is settled. And I got a shot inside. Save these for later. So we grabbed the Bobcat and some gravel and a couple of shovels, and we brought over some gravel and we filled in the hole. But we're still going to keep pylons around it so that nobody gets too complacent and we don't forget that there's a sinkhole there. Oh, that's not till later. So yeah, sinkhole. All right. And you guys remember when I was telling you about the fans and the bearings to replace? There's a whole lot of stuff and things. Too bad you don't have a clue what any of this is because you're the comic relief. Oh, I don't know. I think maybe some people got you beat to it there, B17. We'll see, though. We'll give you a trial run to see if you can be the comedic relief. There's a few other guys ahead of you, though. Hey, Veritax, how you doing, man? You feel the same way people are talking about anime and Gundams. Yeah. All right, so remember I was telling you guys, okay, well, there's the fan up there behind this guard. There's the first bearing. There's the second bearing. And down here, covered by this guard, is the sheave that goes on the shaft. And the sheave for the motor is over here, with the motor. And here is a vibration monitor. You can monitor the vibration of the bearing. We monitor it in millimeters per second movement. And if anything starts going wrong or the bearing starts failing, the vibration monitor will detect that and let me know that this thing is going up at an exponential rate and we should probably shut it down and change the bearing. But these are brand new. I put them on during shutdown. Have I ever encountered a situation where you needed to repair a part of something, but you really need to replace two parts at the same time, and one of them is discontinued? It's either discontinued or obsolete. So we've had it where it's like, okay, we have to repair this gearbox, but there's no parts available. So getting desperate for parts, you turn to a machine shop and have them make it for you. It's absolutely incredibly expensive, but sometimes that's the cost of doing business if you need a part that is no longer around. So you're like, here, you give the part to the machine shop and you're like, here, make this please, or make 2 of these, or whatever it happens to be. And they'll do it, and you'll pay the price for it. Happened to you this week? Car door hinges of all things. Oh my God. Of all the things, eh? Okay, I need a car door hinge. What do you mean they don't have it anymore? Just toss a googly eye on the bearing and wait till the eye shakes. I'm not standing there watching this thing. I got stuff to do. And David Glenn, you got it right. Salvage, salvage, salvage. Yep. It's crazy because it's a 15-year-old car and lots of 2010 Impalas still on the road. I agree with David, though. Yeah, go to your local pick and pull or pick apart or whatever place they have around and just see what you can do. They might even have some if you can find them. Or try to find an equivalent, I guess. I would think they would try to use the same door hinges in a lot of cars. All it needs to have is the right bolt pattern. And if it's a Chevy, I'm sure they would try to use the different ones on different car, or try to use all the same ones on the different cars. Here's another fan, as you can see. Smaller shaft, smaller bearings. These ones are quite large. These bearings are very heavy and robust. And these ones are a little smaller. Thankfully, they found a dealer in Pennsylvania that had one, $20 to ship. And I'm like, it's better trying to get someone to fabricate it, or worse, don't do the repair at all. Yeah, it's your door, man. Like, it needs to close and close nicely. So hopefully it all works out for you, Vertex. Let's see here. Okay, yeah. Next up, instead of pictures, video. Let's make this nice and big for you guys. Okay. So here it is in action. Hot glue, Scotch tape, and an acetylene blowtorch. Make and attach your own hinges. You can try. Okay, so this fan's controlled by a variable frequency drive, or VFD, and that means that it will control the speed. So it doesn't have to run flat out at top speed. It can control it to control how much temperature. So if they have a set point for the temperature, they're supposed to keep it a certain one. This fan will speed up if it gets too hot, and it'll slow down if it gets too cold. Those are some nice looking bearings. They're running real smooth. Looks like a massive pencil sharpener. But yeah, that is one of our heat exchangers, the fan that's connected to it. Is there a difference between a sheave and a pulley? I think it's just two same names for the same thing. And Godzillionaire over on Rumble. VFDs are black magic. I really appreciate VFDs. Also, soft starters. Soft starters are really good because they don't give such a jolt. It's not like instantaneous on, it slowly starts up and gains speed. So I'm a big fan of pun. I'm a big fan of soft starters. They take it a little easier on the machinery. They don't give it such a jarring start. Soft starters, you don't want to pop a breaker every time. You know it. Yeah, what's inrush current? A lot of people don't know about that. When you start a motor and stuff like that, the inrush of current just jumps way up. Because your motor will have an FLA or fully loaded amp rating. And, you know, it's, let's see, what were we doing? 10 horsepower? 20 horsepower? Anyways, one we were looking at was 22 amps. So that's a big draw. That's the fully loaded amps. And it usually runs at 13. But and the inrush current is way more than that. Like it'll be like, I don't know, 40 or 50, just coming in to start it. Overload. Easy there, DJ. We promise not to overload you. At least I can see all your chats now, Godzillionaire, over on Rumble. Okay, so here's another heat exchanger, and a little smaller. The motor's a little smaller. The bearings are a little smaller. So let's hit go, and you can see it up there. In case you missed it, what is up there is what the fan is cooling. It's just like a giant radiator. The fan is blowing air through the radiator to cool down the product that is getting put through there. I believe it's cooling water. So it comes in at like 120 degrees Fahrenheit and they cool it down to 95. And then off it goes back to the pump. Do soft starters use start capacitors? I'm not sure. I'm not on. That's getting into the electrical part of stuff. If anyone knows about soft starters, do they use start capacitors? Do I have a strobe for checking fan speeds? That could make a cool video. Hey, I don't have a strobe for checking speeds, but I should see what we have for checking the fan speed. That's a good idea, Godzillionaire. Right on, man. Off topic, but you finally got down the low brass feature in Arabesque by Samuel Hazo. Nice. Right on, B17. So there's the one bearing up there. You can see it's covered by the guard. Let me get a good shot of it there. And I'm just getting shots of the guard, how it's held on. A couple of bolts. There's the shaft. There's the other bearing. And as you can see right here on the right-hand side of this bearing, there's the vibration probe. And so we can also follow how well the vibration is on this piece of machinery. And then down here, well, there's the motor. And in here, there is the motor sheave. And motor gets its own vibration probe. Why? Because motors can fail as well. So you might as well detect if the bearing is going to go, have to be changed out or whatnot. Dodge? You mean Dodge pillow blocks? Yes, Dodge pillow blocks, Godzillionaire. I have to get some more of those because we used them up, so I have to get more housings. So yeah, that And you can see the shaft is a bit shiny in places because I had to polish it before I could pull the bearings off. Anything in the way of bearings coming off will make it extremely difficult to take them off. So you always try to make your work area and what you're working on as clean as possible for bearings when you want to slide them on and off. Because why make your life difficult? Just do a little bit of cleaning, some emery cloth, and a little bit of brake cleaner to take away any oil and stuff like that, or dried on stuff, and make it nice and clean, and the bearings should slide right off for you. And there you go. Did it talk about the motor mount bracket and the slots for belt tension? No, actually I didn't. So I can't remember if I got a good picture of it. So the motor, when you go to tighten up the belts, you don't want to put too much tension because that means you'll wreck the bearings in the motor or on the shaft. You have to put just enough tension. And there should be a guide for how much you put it down. It goes over the distance between the shivs, or the center lines of the shivs, and how much deflection you need, which is when you push on the belt, how much does it deflect. You loosen off the motor, the nuts that hold the motor on just a little bit, and you go on the other side of this motor and you can crank on a bolt and it will loosen the motor off and it'll also tighten it up. So it's very, very handy. And you never roll a belt on. And what I mean by that is you put it on the shiv and then you try to stretch it and roll it onto the other shiv. You're never supposed to do that. It's not good. It prematurely stretches your belt. You have to have it loosened off completely. Put your belt on both ends, both on the drive shiv and the driven shiv, and then you tighten it up to put your tension on it. So always remember, you have to do that. Don't ever roll a belt on, and don't ever tighten it up so tight that there is no deflection of the belt. Same with this one. You can see this is a larger motor, but it's still got the bolts to undo, so you can loosen off the tension. And this is a lot larger because it's got a lot larger guard, a lot larger shiv for the driven, like the fan. So it takes a little more. This one takes 2 guys to change because everything is so much larger. You need 2 guys to pull off the shiv and put it off to the side, 2 guys to lower down this shaft. Actually, we used a floor jack. Got a floor jack. You're able to put the tension on, take the 2 bearings off, lower it down slowly, and always let the machine do the work. Don't think you have to move everything around like a big bull. Grunt work. You don't need to do that. That is a fancy belt guard. I'm glad you like it, Godzillionaire. I believe they made it out of aluminum as well, because honestly, when you can make guards out of aluminum, do it. Because it's hell otherwise. You're trying to lug around something that's just a guard. It doesn't have to be made out of solid steel. Make it out of aluminum. Looks like the nuts on those bolts have been tacked. Can't remember the term for that I introduced you. Which, these guys here? The ones on the bearings, David? They haven't been tacked. It's just they're so filthy. There's the sinkhole. On the motor, okay. No, I don't think they have. Most aluminum non-sparking? Yes, Godzillionaire. Yeah. So when you work in explosive environments, like say a grain mill, or a flour mill, stuff like that, you have to use brass tools because brass is non-sparking. And no, that's all right, David. It's all good. It's all good. But yes, aluminum as well is non-sparking. It's got no iron in it. It's non-ferrous, so it will be non-sparking as well. But I've seen some brass tools where I was at before, and yeah, they're expensive, but it's necessary to keep yourself from being disintegrated into nothing. And DJ Ronnie G says it's antimicrobial too, just a tad. All right. And, I named the stream How Do Things Break? Well, let's look at something that broke. That's why Wendy says those brass handrails in their queue. Haha, nice. The ship's magazine on the HMS Victory is lined with copper sheet to prevent sparks among the powder kegs. Yeah, there you go. Copper, another one that is non-sparking, non-ferrous. So this is a windscreen. And something's wrong with this windscreen. It's not going to stop the wind very well. So there's a note left for me on the board. It's like, okay. There's, as you can see, the wire for the top of the windscreen comes out over here, and we've got frayed wires. Or it's just a cable, so you can see the strands there. Here's another shot of the end. It's like, okay. So then I went over to where it connects to. Yeah, note left for me. Pop, we done messed up. I should collect those up. I could make a book of notes left for me. So this is what they use to raise and lower the windscreen. Just a simple hand crank. And there's the end that was on the hand crank. Frayed wire versus Fray Valentine. Hey, I see what you did there. Honestly, I prefer Fray Valentine. But that's the other end of that. There's where it goes through. There's a post. And the wire goes through that. And it holds it up there. Right? You put the tension on with the hand crank. And then you let it down when you need to bring things, past it. So, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to order up new cable. I'm going to order up some thimbles. And I'm going to order up some cable clamps. Because I'm going to fix this. But I'm going to fix it the right way. So that means going to the other side where it's connected, disconnecting that, taking out the old wire, putting the new wire through all these snap hooks, because that's all we use there. It's just some snap hooks. They're cheap, easy to use. So I'll feed it through. I will put a loop with the thimble on the one end, and then on this end, same thing. I will make a loop with the thimble, and I will connect the two together and feed, and I will, there we go. I will run it through here first, and then connect the two together, And then we should be able to lift up, and it should work just fine. At least that's what I'm hoping for. But I will keep you guys apprised. I'll let you know how things go. All right, that's just a simple eye bolt up there. Did they overtype in the wire? Somebody thinks they ran over it with the Bobcat. That could be true, because it was perfectly fine before shutdown. But somebody may have ran over it and mangled it. Honestly, this isn't done the right way anyway. Like, this is just, looks like a ground clamp. Somebody had a makeshift clamp on here, a ground clamp, wrapped it up with tape. Like, this isn't the way to do it. You gotta have some thimbles. And if you don't know what thimbles are, I can show you what those are. Not these kind of thimbles. These are sewing thimbles. You need cable thimbles. There we go. You didn't realize y'all had rednecks in Canada? Hey man, Alberta. We're like Canada's Texas. But this is what a thimble looks like. Okay, this thing here, that's a thimble. And this is how you properly use it. You pull the wire around the thimble tightly, then although they've used one of these things, a ferrule, but I personally am going to use cable clamps, because those can be removed. You don't have to crush them. You just have to use cable clamps, and they should be just fine. Here we are. It'll look just like this. So, what do you mean can't be reached? There we go. So there you go. This is what it will look like. These are cable clamps. You can also call them Crosby clamps, because Crosby is a brand name. You should use one of those thimbles on a fence support cable you installed 3 weeks ago. Yeah, and they come in different sizes. I'm going to use 1/4 inch, but you can get them bigger, smaller. You know, I think there's even 1/8 out there. But the cable clamps, and this is exactly how it should be installed. So you've got the long end here, the running end, and then it goes to where it ends, where the cable ends. Right? You always put these saddles, these guys here, on the live end. Don't put them the other way on a dead end. Put them on the live end, the saddles here, this part here. And then you put the U-bolt through on top, and then tighten them down. Same here, saddle, the U-bolt goes on top. So if your end of cable is on top of it, the U-bolts have to go on top as well. And you tighten it down, and that should hold excellent, like super well. And this thimble will protect your wire rope from getting rubbed through and breaking. So that's why I'm doing it, is because I want the cable to last a long time. So I'm going to use thimbles and let the thimble get worn out. If the thimble gets worn out, just take off the cable clamps, put in a new thimble, tighten them back down again. Boom, done. For the cost of a thimble, and they're not very expensive at all. They're like 29 cents or whatever a piece. So for that amount of for cost, for what it does, very good value. You did that for your ceiling mounted lighting. Hey, right on, DJ. And yeah, it's just simple stuff like that that will help you in the future. You should always try to use, if you're using wire rope or cable like that, always use a thimble if you can. And you can get them, I think I bought, what was it now? It was galvanized. You can get stainless steel or whatever. So, you don't even have to worry about rust. I think that's one of the important things too. I wanted to get some that can hold up to the elements because it's going to be outside. So stainless is really good for that. And it really doesn't cost that much more. But yeah, that's what I'm going to do for this. I will take pictures and videos and whatnot of what's going to happen in the future with this. And I'll get a picture of this thing when it's all back up and, protecting us from the wind. So that's all it is. Just a windscreen. It's supposed to help us out. It does get pretty windy. Yeah, and as you can see right by my thumb down here, that's what they did. They did crimping. So they put on a ferrule and they crimped it. It's like, well, okay. But as soon as you have trouble, you got to cut it off. You can't, there's no saving it. There's no using it again. And this looks like an absolute mess here, so I'll get that sorted out. And it should be all right. I believe I ordered the parts today, so they should arrive tomorrow. Tomorrow or the next day. We'll install that. We'll get that windscreen back up and in operation, and people will be happy. Because that's my job. My job isn't to fix things, it's to make people happy. So that's what it feels like some days. All right. Well, excuse me. Any questions, anybody? Anything you guys want to know? Like I say, we had the few things to take pictures of today. This was a quite the safety concern from some of the guys. It's like, hey, we got a sinkhole. We better do something about it. So that's when I had to spring into action. Nothing comes to mind. That's okay, David. I do hope that you do use a thimble on your fence support cable. And yeah, the bearings I had to replace on these exchangers, the heat exchanging fans. How many hours for what, DJ? Before your flight? You're flying domestic, so what is it, an hour? Nice sinkhole. I say safety concern, you say natural selection. Yeah, that's right, Godzillionaire. The guy whose foot went in there, like, not a scratch on him. Like, you want to talk lucky. He was walking along and woof into the sinkhole, and he's like, oh, I'm perfectly fine. Everybody's like, whoa, we were so lucky on that. But yeah, that's what it looks like now. This isn't over. Like, this thing needs to be dug up. The whole pipe needs to be dug up and replaced. So that is a next year budget thing that they need to do. Call in the vac truck, call in the pavement cutter, cut the pavement, vac it up, and then put down a new pipe, bury it, pave it, and then we're good. So yeah, that's what we got to do. Yeah, I hope we're okay. We're getting into the cold season, so it is getting damn cold. I think we're single digits now for a little while. I don't think we'll get into double digit Celsius for a while. Like 7 degrees Celsius. So we're winter's coming. Winter is coming, Jon Snow. So that's what's going on here. Anyway, time to wrap her up then. Cold season, it's still 29 degrees C there for you, Godzillionaire? You son of a... Yeah. Yeah. Here, hang on. Let me... Poof. There we go. Close that. Close that. Open that. I'll tell you what it is right now. As far as the temperature. What do you mean the page isn't working? You can't think and see. That's okay, DJ. I can do both. It's 3 degrees right now, Celsius. In Fahrenheit, it's 37 degrees Fahrenheit right now where I am. All you know is minus 40 is same on both scales. Yes, David. And yikes. I hate minus 40. I hate it. It's too damn cold. It hurts to breathe when you go outside. Yes, so let's see. Tuesday, Wednesday, high of 6, low of 1, high of 6, minus 2, 6, high of 6, 0 on Friday, 8 degrees and a low of 2 on Saturday. Sunday, 6 degrees and minus 2, might be snow mixed in with rain. Monday, 4 degrees, minus 3, 2 degrees, minus 3 on Tuesday. For my American friends. 43 degrees on Sunday, 29, low of 29. 40 degrees, low of 26. 36 degrees, low of 26. And minus 40 here would reduce the population by about 25% or more. That's why we don't have panhandlers here. In the wintertime, anyway. Like, minus 40, that's too damn cold to go out and beg people for money. Yeah, it's crazy. Anyways, I'm just letting you guys know it's starting. It begins. I'll take pictures of like the first snowfall. Anyways, time to wrap her up. I want to thank everybody that came out today. You guys are great. You know, David Glenn, DJ Ronnie G, B17, Godzillionaire, of course, Veritax, anybody else that was lurking and listening, you know, whether you're on one of the other channels or one of the other platforms I broadcast to, you know, like Kick or Rumble or Twitch or YouTube, you know, hey, thanks for coming by. I do appreciate it. You guys are awesome. DJ, say hi to Punkwaddle for me when you see him in San Antonio. Yes, and have a safe trip, of course. Please, guys, hit the like button. You know, subscribe if you haven't already. I appreciate it. It really really gets me out there, lets people know that I'm out here just doing my thing, hopefully providing some sage advice and knowledge for guys that want to listen and stop by. We have some laughs, of course, pictures and videos and stuff like that. I mean, there's myself, but there's also other people to go and watch, like Pacific 4 and 4. Of course, our own DJ Ronnie G. There's Brandon, the anime guy. There's Carl at the RNG podcast. And I'm going to be on Carl's show on Friday. So watch for me on Carl's show. We're going to talk about comic book adaptations of video games and anime adaptations of video games. So if you like video games, make sure you stop on by and see what we're going to do. You'll say hi to Drunk Waddle over a beer. Yeah, right on. Make sure it's import. You want to drink some Molson. That good Canadian beer. There's also Tomby. He's the bloke from across the sea in Britain. There's Angry Canadian, Nerdtorial Lifeform. And we were just talking about Punk Waddle. Make sure you check out his ponderances. He's always got some good deep thoughts. And another fella I watch on Twitch, Infinite Metal. This guy is very entertaining. He plays lots of retro games. He's got his pet dragon, whose name's Skelly. And they have a good back and forth. And it makes for an entertaining stream to watch. He's pretty damn funny. Ironcaster was just on with T-shirted Historian. There you go. And don't forget our friends that are on hiatus right now, Woopa Troopa and Blaine. We hope to see them back soon. All right, guys, coming up Saturday, Retro Game Day. We played some trivia games last time. That was pretty darn fun. I hope you guys had a good time. It was very entertaining. I'll have to see what I can do for coming up next. And then Sunday Anime Chat Day. The theme of October is Pop's Choice. It's my choice. I decide what show I'm going to feature, and I'm going to try to show some that doesn't get a lot of attention, because that's what I do. I shine a light on the more obscure things. And then we circle around again right to Tuesday, and it's Trades Talk Tuesday again. I will be here letting everybody know and extolling the virtues of being in the trades and what it means to be, what you can expect, and what it's like. All right, well, I had fun time. I hope you guys did too. And Godzilla, I hope they get you sorted out with your chats on YouTube. But I'm glad you did go over to the Rumble side there. I was able to see every single chat you sent. So that's good stuff. Right on. All right, you guys all take care. I hope to see you on Saturday. But until then, I've been Pop, and I am signing off.